It's probably just, I don't know if people can only hear me.
Are we good now?
Ah, there you go.
I don't know what happened. My mic just stopped working midway through the countdown. Okay, whatever. The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. They're hooking up new customers with a brand new offer. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Monday morning, September 29th, around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Rose Scott Reichel, once again joined by Adam Rosenberg. Together, we are not going to be breaking down regular season player props because it's over. Regular season finally ended. We got through 162 for every team, and now it's time to get into the postseason. Now, a reminder that we are not covering the actual wild card series previews in this episode. There will be an episode later on today getting into the wild card series and the game one picks, so keep an eye out for that. But instead, we have postseason props, whether it involves teams, whether it involves players. For the entire postseason, we're going to get into some of our favorite plays. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
It's going pretty well. If you followed us, you cashed on a number of futures on players, especially a lot of player fades. Let's hear it for Roki Sasaki. He stunk. Way overrated.
Now he's a bullpen guy.
What's that?
Now he's a bullpen guy. So
Kershaw should probably be closing, to be totally fair.
Well, he's not even on the roster. So we'll see.
Are you serious? I didn't even catch that.
They threw him. He's on the wild card roster now, which means they would be inclined to bring him back for an actual later series, but for the wild card, no, he's not on the roster.
All right. Well, it also tells you how. Well, we can get into it, but that also tells you what his role would be, because if he's not on the wild card roster, he's not getting any work.
Yeah, he's a pure average reliever at that point in the later series.
Yeah,
or maybe he'd even be a garbage time.
I don't think Dave Roberts knows what he's doing.
I think we all know that, but he has 2 World Series rings. People think he's good. That's how it goes sometimes.
I don't count that 2021.
I think most people don't, but in theory, it counts. So he's got 2 rings. I've tweeted about it. I don't care how many rings he has. I'll never think he was a good manager. But either way, point is Kershaw pitched the finale on Sunday because they didn't plan on using him for the entire Red Series. So there you go. That's why he's not there. Right. But anyway, I do want to ask you, first things first, how do you enjoy the last day of the regular season?
I didn't watch. I was too busy cooking props with you.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fair answer too. I mean, your team wrapped up everything, so you were just taking a nap on Sunday.
Pretty much, yeah. It was great. I mean, it was fine. I had the couple last things that I was like looking at, because obviously, if the Yankees won you and I were pretty covered on the Yankees AL, the Yankees to win the East stuff, and that worked out really well. And then I just dove honestly right into this.
Well, for the record, it worked out well because we had Toronto before the season started. That's why it worked out well.
Yeah, and then in the season, I took the I took him at 7-1 to win that, which was nice. So I see folks in the chat, just commenting on a lot of people's teams, I guess, didn't do anything. Didn't do anything of value. So yeah, the Mets didn't do anything. There you go.
That's why May calls roasting the Yankees in the comment section, because he's a Mets fan. So he's not taking it pretty well, which is fine.
No, that's fine. The Yankees. There's ways that we could bet the Yankees this year, though. So we'll find ways to do it. Again, they're kind of the Los Angeles Clippers of the MLB.
Yeah. Either way, point is, it should be fun in the postseason. Of course, no games on Monday. Game ones do start Tuesday. So all the props we're talking about here, you have a decent amount of time to actually get your plays in if you do end up wanting to tail the season-long or postseason-long futures.
And we're going to kind of tell you guys, like, really just how to approach it, because don't approach it the same way you do the regular season.
Yes, that's actually going to segue into the first point that I was going to ask you about. Before I actually get into that, a reminder that you could also check out all of our picks and podcasts in one easy location. Check out the SGPN app in the App Store. So make sure you download it. Free to download. Get easy access to all of our picks and podcasts. Instead of having to go through YouTube or Spotify to find each individual show, it's a lot easier because you can just use the app. And once you actually use the app, you'll be able to find all of our picks in one easy location. So moving on to the actual postseason. For starters, you just addressed it, talking about how different postseason baseball is compared to regular season baseball. I do want to ask you, though, if you had any prop advice going in, whether it involves a single game prop or whether it involves an actual postseason long prop. Anything you want to talk about in terms of differentiating regular season for postseason? Any advice?
So I'll start with hitters. On hitters, the way that you got to approach, first of all, the whole thing is game theory. It's much more strategic than it is about matchups because guys are put in and the expectation is that they might only hit 2 times through. Like Evan Carter, great example, wouldn't go up against lefties, but he was coming in right away for the Rangers during their World Series run. It's one of those things that you have to realize that there is, because it's a series, there's a little bit of an element of, okay, we'll get them tomorrow type of thing. This goes kind of in all sports and playoffs. It's not like it is in regular season where it's, oh, this is a great matchup, he's going to bomb off the guy. Because a lot of the times, sometimes they're just say like, cool, we're just going to throw out our crappy relievers, just do whatever with this game, focus on tomorrow because we might have this advantage. It's much more game theory. It's much more matchups. You can expect a lot of players to get pinch hit for all the time.
Well, you could also mention weather for the home run stuff.
Yeah, it's also a lot. Way colder. It's the temperature is much cooler. So that's not there. Also just generally speaking, like you want to look at teams that can do both, but yeah. So on pitching, it's quick hooks, man. Quick hooks are the thing, and also paying a lot of attention to who is expected to go the next day and whether or not they might get a quick hook. That is how you want to attack outs. Guys aren't there to put their pitchers out there for, like, they usually, each pitcher has probably about allocated like 15 more innings left the rest of the season. Like, they're not trying to get them to go out there and pitch another 20 innings. So it's really important when you're looking at pitcher stuff to know that a manager is probably going to give quick hooks or is thinking about, how am I going to use this guy later on? There's a reason why there's certain things I really like about the Yankees because of this. So
yeah, well, once again, I feel like the spark notes of what you just said is don't be afraid to take some unders, whether it involves
mostly take unders.
Yeah, mostly take unders. Now, you might see pitcher outs be very juiced towards unders because they know there's going to be a quick hook. You can still pivot. If you want to go for under on other props, once again, it's going to be somewhat correlated, not entirely. But if you want to go for an under earned runs, for example, because you're picking about 4 innings of work, you can do that. Like, you can find other ways to take unders on guys that should get short leashes for the sake of their starts, especially in 2 out of 3 series for the wild card, which we're going to end up getting over the next week or so. But either way, a point is looking forward to the postseason. I do agree about the pinch hitter stuff. Should see a ton of them, especially in that Tigers and Guardians series. We know both teams are not afraid of really matching up lefties versus righties. So we'll see what happens there. My boy, Noel, gets the bat in the playoff series, which I'm really looking forward to, because he might only bat like once in a game. Like, it might be really fun in D-Gen to take his unders. So looking forward to it, but do think that's good advice. Trying to look more for unders than overs. Now, I do want to ask you about the actual I'll go with the players because you do have a lot of options for batting average, etc. I see home run leader. I see strikeout leader. I do think we can save some of the batting average stuff for after. I'll start with the leaders because it's kind of the more fun market.
Yeah.
So reading off the home runs, I'm going to look at DraftKings. I see right now is the only book that actually has this market posted. We're a bit disappointed that more books haven't opened up stuff yet.
I just looked up.
Yeah, FanDuel's got nothing.
And neither does MGM.
There's something on Caesars that we saw. We'll mention that in a second. That's more team-oriented. But for actual player leader stuff, we only saw DraftKings. So we'll see if any other books open up some props. But for the postseason home run leader, Judge is at 450, Ohtani's at 5-1, Raleigh's at 650, Schwarber's at 9-1, Stan's at 10-1, Suarez is 12-1, Jazz is 18-1, Teoscar 25-1, and at that point it kind of opens up to a lot bigger prices. But if you wanted, for example, Harper or Freeman or Betts, those are all 30-1. I'll ask you, in this type of market, do you have any tips or any advice when it comes to trying to find value when you have that many players listed?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a look. It stinks, guys, but like, these things are pretty chalky. So like, you don't have to go crazy. You can still find some value. Also, the guy who leads in the only 2 times in the last 10 years has someone who wasn't in the World Series led in home runs. Led not RBI or home runs, yeah. and they were tied.
Yeah.
So the person who they also were tied with in a dead heat was in the World Series. So I don't, again, to the point, like, I don't think that, like, Judge obviously doesn't do great in the postseason, but he also does hit home runs still in the postseason. So it's kind of like whatever. If you're asking like who I like in these things, like I like Stanton a little bit in that stuff. But that's the big thing is, remember, look at what lineup protection looks like. A lot of these guys are going to get pitched around. It's part of the reason why, I have, like, one of the bets that you and I have in pocket is we have Cal Raleigh under 228 batting average, because that we said this all year is that he can hit home runs, but that's it. But when you get to the playoffs, the problem is that you pitch around those guys. Like we saw this I've seen this with the Phillies for a billion years. You see this, saw this actually with this Yankees lineup last year that was like Judge, Stanton, and nobody else, because they basically were like, oh, all right, well, we'll do it this way. Yeah. You could pitch around guys pretty easily. One of the reasons why I like that bet is because, like, he'll still, I just don't think, I think that they'll kind of sacrifice getting him on base to induce a lot of double plays. Inducing double, it stinks that we killed the double play market, because inducing double plays is the key to the postseason.
Yeah, and also, as it's kind of correlated, but not the exact way of describing a double play, you want to control the run game.
Yeah.
So putting a couple of slow runners on isn't going to kill you. You can get around that. So just keep that in mind. But I do want to point out, though, for the home run market here, I agree with you, and I think I'll mention this in a grand scheme of, I'd say on a grand scale. If you want to bet on some players to lead the respective markets out of the entire postseason, you're indirectly picking that team to minimum reach the World Series, and you're going from there.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it. Like, you're not, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you could do stuff for the round. Like, I'm seeing who to lead the AL Wild, who to lead a different round in Worlds. Well, it's not even to lead them in home runs. It's hit a number of home runs. I mean, some of these are just kind of suckers bets.
But those for specific rounds, sure, you can get creative. When it comes down to the entire postseason, you need a team to win multiple rounds.
Like, I think Bryce Harper at 30-1 for a team that has the shortest odds to win the World Series, for him to be 30-1 for the home run leader, I think that's a crazy number. That's actually we should bet that.
It is a very big number.
That's a huge number for a dude.
You said Stan 10-1. I thought you were just going to plug Schwarber because he had 50+ home runs and
but like the thing is that they might pitch around. Like, I don't want him. I'd much rather Bryce Harper in a very well documented, excellent playoff run, and in a hitter friendly park. I mean, the reason why I'm high overall, and I think we could, we could talk about this a little bit as well, is, I know you're high on a specific Yankee team prop, because, like, I know I'm high on it because the Yankee side of the bracket is very hitter. It's Rogers Center, Fenway, and Yankee Stadium.
Well, it's not Fenway; it's Yankee Stadium. But,
right? Sorry, but it's
I mean, that's even better.
And Rod, which is even better. It's fine. But that's the thing. It's two very hitter friendly things on that side. And then I know we're kind of going around, but, like, there's one team prop we've seen out that you kind of liked because of this stuff.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. But for player props, we can stick with this market, though, because we're kind of flushing it out now. You like Harper plus 3,000?
I like Harper at 30-1. I like Harper at 30-1. I'm looking at the longer shots here, because I think the Phillies are the shortest odds to get to the World Series, and I think that they can get to the World Series. I like Harper there. I guess it's easier for me to match this with, like, if you are a whatever. Like, if you're a Yankees fan and you want to take a dart, Ben Rice at 65-1 is matchup dependent, but he's.
I was going to say the problem is he's significantly worse against lefties, and that's why Goldschmidt's on the roster.
Well, they're talking about putting both him and Grisham in the lineup at the same time, which is weird.
I mean, I think Rice's at bats are too good to actually bench, and Grisham you kind of need for center field. So I understand the idea, but statistically speaking, he has been a lot worse against lefties than righties. So that is a certain type of flaw in his game that other playoff pitching staffs are going to exploit.
There's other stuff that just seems off. Like, here's another one that's just off in general. So there's two ways to look at it. A team that's going to the market that can go to the World Series, and a team that that the number's off. Like, Vlad has longer odds than JT Realmuto.
Yeah, Vlad's 100-1.
Right. That's and they're the number one seed. So I understand that he had a down home run year. He still had 84 RBIs. Still hit great. Like, it's him having shorter, like, Austin Wells has shorter odds than Vlad. Yeah. And for everyone who's like, well, they're playing a wild card round, it doesn't the numbers actually equal out because the wild card round is 3 games. And in an ideal world, they're only ended up playing 2 of them, and the divisional is 5. It ends up equaling out and maybe being 1 more game, but this isn't. And
nuts. Well is also rotating because sometimes you see
Well is also rotating. Like that's so as we're looking at this, I would say that's a bonkers number. I mean, if you really want to buy low on somebody, I don't think they're going to the World Series. I don't even think they're winning the wild card round. But like PCA is 200-1. He had a 30-30 year. Like it's again, I would say if I were doing anything here, I would do Vlad and I would do Harper. I would do Vlad, Harper, and Stanton.
Yeah, I think I'm in for Stanton. I think Schwarber I'd consider 2 just out of principle.
I'm less interested in Schwarber because I would want to compare it to his NLCS MVP odds and stuff like that. I just think
that's fair.
Like it's like it's under the poison. It's under the magic number, you know? Like,
I mean, you're mentioning 100-1 on Vlad. I'd rather take RBI leader, but I'm curious what price that would be by comparison.
See, I don't know because of where he bats in the order. Like, well, I have another thing. Like, I have some issues with Toronto because Bo Bichette's out.
Yeah.
Like, Bo Bichette sounds very hurt.
And Bo Bichette was going to cruise to a hits leader before he got injured.
And he led the team in RBIs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's probably better value. Do you want to move to RBI?
I don't have it listed. That's kind of the problem.
Okay. So RBI, you really don't have RBI?
No, I have nothing. New York doesn't have anything listed.
All right, so I'll take this. Okay, so RBI, I'm on.
I didn't even realize you had a market for RBI. That's why I just brought up Vlad. Just by
no. Like so. Okay. I'll take the mic.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So, do we have to do any ad reads? Are you good?
No, I can do it later.
All right, cool. So RBI leader. This is really great call out. So RBI leader. It's so Judge is like plus 450 for home run leader, and he's 600 for RBI leader. Schwarber is 12-1 for RBI leader, which I like a little bit more, as he obviously was like RBI leader
in the regular season. Yeah.
Vlad's 18-1 for RBI leader. Last year, you and I won on Mookie. It was a dead heat, but we still won it. Like Bo Bichette's 30-1. And that's because they don't think he's in there. I like in this category, I like Cody Bellinger.
Okay.
Because he was second. He's second on the team in RBIs. And when he gets up, it seems that people are on base. Plus, he's got like really good postseason history. So
he also bats behind Judge and before Stanton.
He bats
he's got great protection.
High on base percentage guys. I like Cody a lot for RBI leader.
Yeah, so I was asking about Vlad, by the way. Yeah, 100-1 compared to 18-1. Not exactly as appealing for the RBI.
Yeah, well, it's more the bet on that is, do you think Vlad can carry that? Is going to carry that team from a power standpoint because he had a down power season. Yeah, you know.
I was kind of hoping it wasn't that big of a differential between RBIs and home runs, but
yeah, I mean it's because here's the problem that ends up happening though, because so a guy like Vlad, you got that number because they're like, oh well, he didn't hit a lot of home runs this year, so we can pitch to him some. The moment he hits 2 home runs and 2 at bats, they're going to pitch around him to get to Addison Barger, and who is not a threat to hit a home run. So yeah, in terms of like what I'm looking at this, so it's Judge 6-1, Ohtani 9-1, Cal Raleigh 9-1, Schwarber 12-1, Stanton 14-1, Machado 14-1, Freeman 14-1, Vlad 18-1. Harper's there at 18-1. I mean, Harper's postseason. I think the market's undervaluing Bryce Harper. As Bryce Harper's playoff stats are pretty good. So yeah, he's hitting 280 with 54 hits and 17 home runs in the playoffs. Like that's pretty solid, man. He's got 193 postseason at bats. He's being treated like it's the first time that he's being treated like he had a terrible year. I don't know about that one. I think the other thing is that if you're going to have to pitch to Harper because he's right behind Schwarber. So he still had 27 home runs this year. He had 27 home runs. He had an OPS at 844. He had a quote unquote down year. Still had 261. 12 stolen bases. He still had an OBP of 357. I think
at the end of the day, if you're looking for guys to go nuclear, you can get a good price.
Yeah, I like the prices on Harper more than I like the price on Schwarber. Schwarber will win NLCS MVP if he has 2 home runs, things like that. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that the player I'll mention in that prop is actually going to be a Dodger. I like Freeman at 14-1.
I like Freeman too for RBI leader.
Yeah, looking at the numbers
like
here, Freeman had 90. He was second on the Dodgers, but he also played 11 games less than Ohtani.
Yep.
And he finished 12 RBIs behind.
Well, he's also, look where he is in the lineup.
Yeah,
too.
He's in a great spot in the lineup. Ohtani's probably batting leadoff, for being honest here. So you might get more guys on base for Freeman. He won World Series MVP last year. And on top of that, once again, he has a lot of experience. We think that lineup is going to do some damage against Cincinnati. They do play an extra 2 games minimum if they do get past it. But Freeman at 14-1, I like. I just think getting a team that was top 2 in runs per game and he's batting in a prime RBI spot, I think 14-1 is a great price. So I'll take Freddie Freeman in that market.
Yeah. No, I think the 2 guys that I'm going to want, maybe 3, it would go Cody and Freddie. And then Harper, maybe. I want to find a way to back Harper only because the history is so deep, and I think that team goes deep. I don't think the problem with the Dodgers is that I don't think that the Dodgers are going to do well. I don't think the Dodgers are going deep. But I
am a bit, I'd say, higher on the Dodgers than you are, but I wouldn't say I was high going into the postseason. I kind of just evaluated the teams, and I think that there are some teams that are kind of leaking oil entering the postseason. Philly's rotation's been injured. I think Suarez is okay. Got hit by a comebacker in his last start. I mean, we were getting hurt, didn't help. I still think Philly and the Dodgers.
Sanchez is through 6 and
Sanchez is a monster.
Like Sanchez and Luzardo are monsters down the stretch.
I get it.
I think leaking oil is a little
that wasn't only referring to the Phillies. I'm talking about like there are other teams around that are also not playing their best baseball entering the postseason. I don't know. Maybe I got blinded by Yamamoto, Snell, and Glasnow as your 3-game starters. Which
so Glasnow's apparently Glasnow's not one of the starters. Glasnow's would be available out of the bullpen. They said.
Wait, so then who's the other starter?
They haven't announced.
Oh, okay. Because it's not going to be Kershaw.
It's not going to be Kershaw. But Glasnow, they're saying, is going to come out of the bullpen.
That means his arm's about to fall off. That's what that means.
Probably Emmett.
Okay. Either way.
I like Emmett.
Yeah, I don't mind him. Glasnow's better, but yeah, I mean, of course.
I also think, keep in mind that, if you're, so it sounds like we're cornering that other side of the bracket. So do you not have, what are your feelings then on Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, I really love their path, but I don't like how they played the last couple of weeks. I mean, they took a nap. They have a history of falling apart in the playoffs. Woodruff got injured, which doesn't help because we know he's injured every damn year, and I like him a lot as a pitcher. You're looking at the rotation right now, and it's going to be Peralta. You're throwing Quintana for one of those games, and you're probably a Priester, who I know has been a monster this season, but we're still talking about Quinn Priester. So I was higher on Milwaukee before the Woodruff injury than I am now, obviously. And it took a nap for the last week too, which didn't help.
But then there's also guys like on Milwaukee, the guys who I would look at, I'd look at guys who had down years. Like actually what's kind of wild is that I don't think I see anybody. So I kind of think this is insulting to that team. Third highest scoring team in the league. And I don't see anybody on Milwaukee until Yelich.
We're talking about RBI,
40-1
right?
For RBI leader.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the comment section mentioning Yelich stuff. If they're going to,
I would rather take Churio.
Okay. Doesn't Churio about leadoff sometimes though? Isn't he sometimes top of the order?
Sometimes, but they've done a lot of stuff with Sal and some things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to want Churio's the dude. He had a down year and stuff, but he's still he's the dude. And I like that. And then Churio's 50-1, dude.
Yeah, what's Yelich by comparison?
40-1. But that's the highest one for a Brewer. That's really low.
Yeah, I think I would take Yelich over Churio, but I get where your head's at. We're on the same page here for value.
The problem I have with Yelich is that he's a walk machine too.
Yeah, that's true. You want a free swinger.
Yeah, I want someone who I know is going to swing at the ball.
Yeah, so fair point. But something to mention there, if you want to go for a team that you think might go on a good run, you can get Milwaukee to make the World Series at plus 340. But you can go for RBI leader at 40-1 or 50-1. You might get yourself a massive long shot that has a chance.
Right.
So something to keep in
mind. They
also
like this team. That's the thing is about that team. Yeah, to Trevor's point, one of the only things that Trevor has said that actually is of value. Terang or Fellick are going to be at the top of that order. So
I kind of want a Terang for runs leader. If that was
I haven't seen the market yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I like Terang for a runs leader. I don't know if he's really the RBI guy. He had a good season in terms of power.
But my point with the Brewers is that Brewers don't hit home runs. So like it's that. I mean, like I don't know, what's Yelich postseason stats look like? Yelich, his career in postseason, 235 with 16 hits, 2 homers, 3 RBIs.
It's not great, but
it's not horrific or something.
It's not terrible, but it's not great. But
yeah, I mean, it's more indicative of the teams that he's been on and how they've done. They've just kind of flamed out. So,
and we didn't even mention Contreras getting hurt. That's another reason why Milwaukee.
Oh, you know what might be fun? Wait, I guess. What about Andrew Vaughn?
Are we sure he's going to play against everybody?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, in theory, anybody could have like a Pierce run.
Well, I guess the point is that there's value on the Brewers if you really think about it.
Yeah, because they were top 3 in runs and they're being disrespected. So
yeah,
and anybody can contribute in that lineup.
Anybody can contribute in that lineup. Yeah.
But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the actual hitter props for postseason leader stuff. Before we get into anything else, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, MyBookie.ag. Who's Bookie?
MyBookie.
So using to bet on football, they have a prop builder, which is second to none. Using to bet on baseball as well. They're about as simple. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Use crypto for deposits and payments. You can sign up for a new account. Use code SGPN for 100%. Bet back bonus $100 to new customers. Go get the promo code SGPN. We're also brought by Novig, which is an exchange, the number 1 sports prediction market in the world. And a reminder, you can also use a Novig as an exchange to find some great prices in the market. It's available in a bunch of states, 35 plus to be exact. Download the Novig app, $50 when you spend $5. Use the promo code SGPN. Get on the actual Novig, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish going through some postseason leader stuff. We do have some strikeout leaders, by the way, for pitching, if you want to get into that. But before we do that, though, I know you liked a couple of batting average stuff. You mentioned for Raleigh in particular.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you what your thought process is going in. Are you using regular season numbers, postseason numbers? How are you deciding where the value might lie in that market?
I'm using Handigraphs, not only because I own that company, but because it's pulling in data from Baseball Savant. Stay away from Fangraphs. Fangraphs isn't going to give you any of the data that's consistent right now. Use Baseball Savant or use my site. And if you don't have an login to my site, I'll just DM me. I'll get you set up. But that's one of the things that's great about it is that it's pulling from live from Baseball Savant. Like I just did the Phillies right now over the last 15 games. And obviously it doesn't matter. They're off for a couple days. But part of the reason why I think that Harper, again, just to close the loop on that, why he has, I think, value, last 15 games, his WRC plus is 133.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's still exceptionally good. Like on the Brewers, it would be.
They have not been good lately. So that's
Caleb Durbin. Like, it's sort of like it's. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Caleb Durbin yeah, that's not good. Anyway, so let's go to pitchers. Let's talk about pitchers then. So what I'm looking at a lot of postseason history and stuff like that. There's one that I saw that I already did bet. Our guy probably would you say that he made us the most money this year? As a pitcher?
I don't know. It depends on who you're about to talk about. Because Rodon made us a lot of money, but I'm wondering if there's anybody else who might have passed him.
Maybe I have to look at that.
I don't know. I'm assuming you're talking about Rodon.
Yeah. Rodon is like Rodon was like great for us early in the season.
He was.
So I guess like we're taking his we're gonna take his ERA over. It's like 3.09, which I think is way too low. So here's the thing on looking at markets like over and under on ERA. You want guys that have that are going to get high pitch counts because they walk guys. Because then if you get the ER and you get pulled,
the inherited runners are still yours,
right? So also he's got a career postseason ERA of over 6, dude. Like so, and he's not good against the Red Sox. That's probably an L, him versus Crochet.
Start. So. Yeah, I can get behind the Rodon over. I mean, once again, you have to remember what it actually entails to have an ERA of basically 3. I mean, that's actually pitching very well. Like, if you have one blow-up start, you're kind of cruising at that point. if you take the over earned runs, and he gives up like 6 in 5 innings. Like one bad start, and you're kind of cooking at that point, and that's definitely feasible with his numbers against Boston, historically speaking. But I know you mentioned Raleigh for the batting average. You like the under. What was the number on that again?
228.
Yeah.
Career average is 227.
Yeah. So you're going with the under there. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else I'm really tempted by. Judge is at 278. If you want to fade him, historically speaking, that makes some sense. Trying to see if there's anybody I'm really tempted by besides that. I agree with you about the Raleigh play. I'm kind of just seeing if there's anybody.
Cease was interesting to me. Again, it's for pitcher stuff, for ER. Yeah. I mean, batting average wise, it was kind of tough. Like I just knew I just would rather take the unders on the 2 most popular dudes.
Yeah, I think if I was going to go for an over, I don't mind Freeman at 256. Solid overall contact hitter. I don't mind Freeman at 256 for an over, but I'm also high on Freeman.
The Cease, yeah.
Yeah. So give me. I think 260 is a very reasonable floor for Freddie Freeman. For a very good contact hitter who's former MVP, he's led the league in hits before. Like he's a solid contact guy as well. So I like Freeman over 256 for that one. But I know we just mentioned a second ago some pitcher stuff. I'll segue into the strikeout leader, which you can find. So Yamamoto is the favorite at 7-1. Rodon's at 750. Snell's at 8-1. Glasnow's at 9-1. And according to Adam earlier in the show, he just said Glasnow's not going to actually be in the rotation.
It doesn't sound like it. I mean, unless I missed something, it sounds like who's the Dodgers playoff?
I assume going in it was going to be Yamamoto, Snell, and Glasnow, but Glasnow, with him being injured for most of the season, I can understand him not being in there. But
saying,
unless they haven't announced it yet,
Snell and Yamamoto.
That's a guarantee.
So it's Ohtani, Snell, and Yamamoto.
Ohtani's in the rotation?
Yep, Emmett and Tyler are going to be available in relief.
Okay, so that means Emmett is probably going to piggyback off of Ohtani. Okay, fair enough. Either way, Glasnow's 9-1, so as you can tell, that's definitely not the price you want at 9-1. Gilbert's at 13-1. Skubal's at 13-1. Fried is at 15-1. Crochet is 20-1. Sanchez 20-1. Luzardo 22-1, who tied for the actual lead in strikeouts. You have Schlittler 25-1. Wu 25-1. Cease 30-1. You kind of get the point. So I'm going to ask you, even though I know he's been a bit volatile for the last couple of months, do you like the value on Luzardo because he literally led the league in strikeouts?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize that he ended up leading it.
I thought he tied in the national. Actually, he was tied. I'm curious if somebody passed him at the end, but he was definitely up there. For strikeouts.
So he was tied with Crochet for. Hold on, let me just look it up. Strikeout leader MLB 2025.
I know he was definitely on one of the top 5 minimum.
Yeah, he was. He was like 6. He had 216. He was absolutely fantastic. Crochet had 255. So I like Luzardo a lot.
But Luzardo finished tied with Skeens. He finished tied with
Skeens. Yep.
So
the reason why I like Luzardo a lot, besides the fact that he has a sweeper that is like extremely hard to hit, and does very well. Will do very well in cold weather. 5th highest K per 9 in MLB since August 1st. And then he had the 2nd most strikeouts in MLB period since August 1st. He was only 1 behind Crochet. And it's not that the Dodgers or the Reds are particularly awful against lefties, but they are in the bottom 3rd. And I think they're going to just kind of lean on him for that kind of stuff because he just has that type of pitch to do it. I think that there's just pretty good value on what is arguably the Phillies strikeout pitcher. Like that's the guy who is left, and this is why they got it. And I'm looking. I also really like Cam Schlittner at 25-1. He towards the end of everything, towards the end of the season, he was really good from a K per 9 ratio. Led the Yankees.
Just to be clear, by the way, he is the projected game 3 starter for the Yankees.
Right. Completely get it. So. But which I think in that series that I do think goes 3.
I'm just mentioning that in case you were wondering. He will be in the rotation.
Yeah. Yep. And the thing is because the other because I like Rodon's got bad history.
Yeah.
And let me just look this one up.
You got Fried going game 1 probably.
And Fried isn't a K pitcher. Like I get it, guys. Like Fried is great. Fried is not a.
He had 1 crazy strike game against Baltimore. That's not really his thing for the most part.
Let me just look at who is it? So since August 1, because what I try to do is what is the K per 9 from this? Yeah, Cam Schlitter had the 6th best K per 9 since August 1st. Behind Wu, Skeens, Crochet, Luzardo, Yamamoto. Like he was pretty filthy, and I just think that's something it's a guy that people haven't seen before, these kinds of stuff. But I like Cam Schlitter at 25-1 for that. Who is the highest rated Yankee in this market? Is it Fried? 15-1? Yeah, but like you said, he's not a K pitcher. I think that way better value is on Cam Schlitter.
In theory, the best strikeout pitcher on the Yankees, I guess, is Rodon, but we're low on Rodon.
So we're low on Rodon, yeah.
So there you go. I do want to point out, though, if I was going to go for any of the favorites, I understand why Yamamoto's favored. I would take Snell. If I had to compare Dodger pitchers, I would take Snell at 8-1 if I had to compare the two. Snell was slightly higher in K per 9. He was 10.6. Yamamoto was 10.4.
Less innings pitched, too.
Neck and neck. Yeah, the point is Snell was injured for a lot. Then he ended up coming back, and, I mean, Snell has been a very good strikeout pitcher for a long time. And you're looking at 2 of the last 3 starts against Philly, a playoff team, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. Snell can have that monster, wow, he has 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. He could have one of those. The issue is always going to be pitch count with Snell, but I do think that his strikeout stuff is arguably the best in the entire postseason, besides Skubal, of course. But Skubal, we think Detroit might be a dead team early. That's why we're not picking Skubal in this market, obviously. I'm higher on the Dodgers than you are, so I think Snell makes sense for me. He would be the chalky favorite I would take out of the short amount of chalk. Yamamoto I get, but I would go Snell over Yamamoto.
I think what you got to do – I would definitely do Yamamoto. I would definitely do Snell over Yamamoto.
Yeah, so I'm saying, we don't like Rodon at 750. We think Glasnow is a sucker play because he might not be in the rotation. So based on that, you have Logan Gilbert as the #1 Seattle guy mentioned, which I think is kind of insane. So, yeah, cross elimination.
No, they're not the #1.
Snell.
They're the 2.
Yeah, correct. The point is I'm at Snell. I think Snell at 8-1 makes sense as the chalky favorite I would pick out of those 4 or 5 guys.
Yep. Nope, I agree with that.
You have any longer shots you want to go with for this market? Crochet's plus 2,000 if you want to go for a Red Sox Cinderella run, but I don't think we're picking that.
If you want to you want like a real fun long shot.
I mean, we mentioned Luzardo at 22-1, but I'm curious if there's anybody else you're looking at.
So you got to build it around teams you think are going to get there. So I think I don't hate. Well, he's not going to pitch in that. I don't know if he's going to pitch in that first series. But let me just see something. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so if you wanted to,
okay,
Aaron Nola at 50-1 isn't crazy.
He was great last start.
Well, the problem is that I don't think he's starting yet. I think, but I mean, he's got 58 Ks in 53 postseason innings. So, that's exactly what you want in someone like this. Snell's probably my favorite chalk there. I think that's a good shout by you. It's just about what the Dodgers ceiling is, and that's why I think Luzardo. is a better. Well,
22-1 for a guy that finished top 4 in strikeouts, I think is worth something blindly. But Sanchez, we love as a pitcher, but he also gets contact. So
yeah, he's great. He's quietly had 200 Ks, but he's not. That's just not. It's just because his off speed is just filthy.
Yeah,
he's filthy. His stuff is.
I was going to say, if you wanted to go for Sanchez at plus 2,000, I wouldn't stop you. But
I wouldn't. I like Luzardo a little more, most only because of the pitch mix.
Yeah, I got that. But I'll ask you though, if you were going to go for a Cinderella option, do you think Crochet can do anything at 2,000 if Boston does make a deep run? Because I'm just wondering, if you think Crochet with X amount of starts.
I'm down. I'm not. You know me. I'm not really.
I know. Well, we acknowledge the strikeout stuff's good. He just gives up contact.
I'd rather Bybee at 150-1.
Okay. See, I was thinking Gavin Williams territory for Cleveland.
But then the same problem that we always talk about with Gavin Williams, he throws too many pitches.
Yes, but Gavin Williams also 150-1.
Yeah,
so
I would rather Bybee though in that situation, just because he's directed to the point on that thing.
I think I'd rather take Gavin, but either way, these are long shots no matter what. So there you go.
How many? What was the pitch? What was there? Who had because we won on Gavin 160 Ks this year. How many did Bybee have?
I can look up the Guardian stuff. I know, I believe Williams had more than Bybee, but I can check.
Did he?
I want to say that he did. Let me look at the strikeouts.
Oh yeah, he did. He had more innings. He had, I think he had. You're right. He had.
Yeah, Gavin Williams led the team. He had 11 more than Bybee.
Okay, so that's the thing. My thing with Gavin Williams is always going to be that he just like paints. It's the thing like Trevor talking about Peralta. Peralta dicks around too much for me.
I mean, Williams had 83 walks. Like, I'm aware walking is a problem, but if you're going for upside long shot guys, I mean, last 2 starts against Detroit, coincidentally, team he's facing in the first round, 9 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts. 150 to 1. I think Cleveland's not going to make it past the second round, but 150 to 1, you could argue, might have some merit.
So that series is really the whole thing is interesting because, like, if we look
at a rematch of last year. But yeah,
what's that?
It's a rematch of last year's first round.
Yeah, and
except this one's 3 games instead of 5
together. I think a lot's kind of. I think that it's a little bit downplayed. Well, I don't know. I think that the Tigers could possibly still come out of that.
I think they can as well. I don't feel great about once again either team right now because Detroit fell off a cliff. But
they're also only 8-5 against them. We're talking about like we're treating it like they were like 19-1 against them. No, they just won when Detroit lost.
At the end of the day, Detroit completely fell apart, and yet we're still here and basically about to be October. It could have been worse. They got in. That's what their goal was going in. You are in the dance, and we'll see how far you can go. But if you wanted my long shot, my super long shot for this market, I'm not picking Cleveland to actually make a great run. But Gavin Williams at 150 to 1, I think, is just objectively speaking a price that's a bit too high. I mean, he's behind Sasaki. Sasaki's is plus 12,000. Gavin Williams is plus 15,000. Sasaki might pitch maybe 3 innings in a series. Like, we've gone too far. So I like Gavin Williams there as my super duper long shot at 15 to 1. Anyway,
super duper long shot. We could do that. I'm just looking to see what's like. Jose Barrios is hurt. What is he doing? Why is Kirby Yates on here?
Yeah.
Emmett Sheehan's interesting.
I mean, I'm looking at lines here, and you have Chad Patrick, who is 10 to 1, or sorry, who's 100 to 1, and Gavin Williams 150 to 1.
So just so that everybody's clear, let me look at let me just we can end this and then we can get this to wrap this up. But Rodon led postseason last year in case.
They made the World Series. Makes sense.
Right. Skubal, by the way, had 20, and they didn't even get to the LCS.
Yeah.
Blake Treinen had 18, by the way. That's hilarious. Blake Treinen had. So, wait, is there a reliever that we would want?
I'm trying to think.
I'm looking at that, and Blake Treinen was 5th. And obviously only pitched out of the bullpen.
Well, you said 5th, though. How far behind was he of number 1?
Only 7.
Okay. All right. I don't know if there's really a reliever I'd want. It's just about usage. Yeah. I just don't. You have to be so efficient with your strikeouts out of the bullpen.
Like a Valdi. Wow, Valdi had 41 in 23.
I mean, Treinen 75 to 1 if you wanted to go for that angle.
Again?
No, I'm just mentioning. Like, we don't think that San Diego is going to do much, but you always have the option if you want to. But I don't see enough innings for the relievers
I don't
there.
See enough innings. Well, so Tyler Matzik, the year that the Braves won the World Series, was 2 off the lead.
Yeah, I mean, once again, they're close, but no cigar. So I don't know if you actually want to take
13 games, dude. You pitching like every game for that player.
Yeah, you struck out the side with Betts and Freeman, and you remember that series.
Yeah.
I'm just the last point I'll mention though on the Gavin thing. Luis Heel is plus 7,000.
Luis Heel's not even on the playoff roster.
He's 70 to 1, and I can get double the odds on Gavin Williams.
Like, no, I would do Gavin. I would do Gavin.
I'll mention that, but before we actually wrap it up with
agree. Let's agree. Like, actually, let's right now just kind of say a couple that we agree that we're going to do. We're going to take Cal Raleigh under.
Yeah.
We're going to take Rodon over.
Yeah.
Let's take a dart on this Gavin 150.
We also wanted to throw in Luzardo in there.
Take Luzardo. We're definitely going to take Luzardo.
Do we want Snell, or that was just a chalky option that if we had to pick one, we would take it?
I think it's if we have to pick one.
Okay. Because I don't mind that. And you mentioned some Harper stuff.
And then some Harper stuff. I think we want Harper more than we want Schwarber.
That's fine. I mean, the price differential is massive. So
the price difference is crazy.
Yeah. So I can get behind that too. And I wanted Freddie
and
Freeman.
Yankees run leader.
And I wanted Freddie Freeman RBI.
Yeah.
At 14-1. So there we go. That's going to wrap it up for the player prop stuff. I do want to mention one team prop market. I know the show's a bit long. It's fine. Deal with it. It's for the entire postseason. So we have a run scored market for the entire team. Milwaukee, despite not being the favorites to win the National League and despite not playing in the wild card series, are favored in the market. They are 6-1. The Yankees and the Dodgers are both 650. You have the Phillies at 7-1, Toronto at 8-1, Chicago 9-1, Padres 12-1, Red Sox 12-1, Mariners 14-1, Tigers 14-1, Reds at 16-1, Guardians at plus 2,000. So for starters, I talked about this yesterday with you in a Zoom, and you slept on it, and we reached the same conclusion. Why is Milwaukee favored in this market?
I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm thinking that they'll go further. But it doesn't, the math doesn't work for me. I completely agree on this one.
For the record, Milwaukee was a top 3 offense in the league. The teams in front of them, the Yankees and the Dodgers, so that doesn't really apply. And the Yankees and Dodgers, the Yankees we think maybe can lose to Boston. We're not picking the Dodgers to lose to the Reds.
No.
You play an extra 2-3 games. So you get a head start, which might not matter that much.
We got to stop saying that. That's not, because like the thing is that it doesn't end up equaling it. They still end up playing the same. They end up playing one less because the series is longer.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing it up, though, is that if we're talking about the actual leagues,
could the Yankees bomb out and then do like 12 runs on 2 of those games? Like, sure.
Yeah, the point is, though, the Dodgers have shorter odds to win the National League than the Brewers, and they're playing more games.
Yeah.
The fact that they're shorter odds combined with that means the Brewers should not be favored in that market. Whether you think the Brewers win it or not, they should not be favored in that market going.
I don't understand the Brewers being favored in that market.
So I'm looking at the
you're
Yankees and the
basically
Dodgers.
saying that they're going to beat up on the Cubs or the Padres in some sort of weird way.
And the Padres pitching staff we think is pretty good. We don't like the Padres team that much on the road.
I don't like the team, but I think the staff is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll ask you for this market, who do you like?
For team runs?
Yeah, for team runs. We acknowledge Milwaukee has no value.
I'll take the chalk. I put a unit on it.
So you got the Yankees.
Yeah.
And if you
I'm not trying to get cute. I don't need to get cute.
If you were high on the Dodgers, I'm assuming you'd also consider the Dodgers.
Yeah, if I was higher, I like both of those, but I just don't. I would rather play Freddie Freeman RBI to cover my liability on the Dodgers.
Okay. And I have to ask you though, because we're talking about Schwarber and Harper. Is there a reason why you did not take Philly?
Yeah, just because Philly tends to have some power outages sometimes when they're on the road.
Yeah, okay. I understand that. Just throwing it out there. So wanted to mention that market. It's a small market, but you know what? It exists. And
you know what? The other reason why there's another reason to take the Yankees?
Sure.
So if the Brewers play the Padres in the second round and the Phillies are playing the Dodgers in the second round, those teams are both flying. Dodgers will include in this too. The Dodgers, both those teams are flying coast to coast for games. Yeah. For the Yankees, they're in a great travel bracket because they don't have to leave the Northeast or their time zone at all.
Yeah.
So to me, that just makes things a little bit easier to prep for.
Yeah.
That's another reason to like them for the runs leader is because even if they beat the Red Sox and they get to this Toronto series, they're not flying 6 hours across the country to go to a game on game 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
So
wanted to mention that. Also, you know what? For fun, I actually do see some new markets open up on Caesars.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. It's for like a classic one game situation of will at any point a team score 7 runs in an inning. Like you have that type of prop stuff.
Oh, we talked about this. There's only a couple teams I think can do it.
Yeah, we do it every year. We talk about this market and we usually find an angle or two. So I'll mention one. I'll go down the line. You tell me if you're interested or not.
Okay.
A player to record 6 or more RBIs in a game. Yes is plus 225. No is minus 275.
I mean, so scored 6 RBIs in a game.
One player to get 6 in a game. We don't spend much time.
Stan went to the World Series and led with 16 RBIs. This isn't happening.
No, correct. So no is minus 275.
This is just not.
Yeah. No is minus 275. Moving on to the next one. It's rapid fire. Most total runs scored by a team in a game. Over under 12.5. Minus 105 on the over. Will a team score 13 runs in any game?
No.
Okay. So no is minus 125 if you want to go for that. Cycle, going to skip 9-1 on the yes. I'll skip that. Most runs scored by a team in an inning. Over 6.5, minus 140.
You and I bet this 2 years ago, didn't we?
I believe it wins every time.
Yeah.
We usually take the over in runs. I think it might have been 5.5 in years past, and now it's 6.5.
Yeah, I think it was higher.
You usually get one inning where somebody just gets killed and they score 7 runs.
Yeah. You and I.
So we usually take the over on this, and
that's the most runs in. What was it again? Say it again.
It was 6.5. The over's minus 140.
No. What's the category again?
Category is most runs scored by one team in a single inning. The entire postseason, over or under 6.5.
You and I, and it used to be 5.5.
It was 5.5. Now it's 6.5. It's minus 140.
Taylor or Trevor, nobody cares.
We still like it.
About your 25-1 thing that no one cares.
Guardians had a nice run.
Yeah, Guardians had a great run. Like, go tout. It was 5.5 because I remember it cashed on the first day 2 years ago.
Yes, it did. I forgot who got there, but it was
the Rangers.
It was
the Rangers got there against the Rays. I want to say whoever played the Rays got there. Because Yandy Diaz just like dropped the ball. Like,
that wasn't last year. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I said 2 years ago.
Yeah,
2 years ago it hit on the first day in like the first game.
I think it was 1-0, and they scored like 6 runs in the ninth inning.
Yeah.
I think F1 shoved in that game, and they just didn't score the entire series. I think
it might have been. It might have been. I don't know. Was that when? Yeah, it was definitely.
I think F1 shoved, and then the bullpen fell apart in the ninth inning. But the point is, we blindly take the over on this prop every year, and we'll take it. And there was one I like, by the way, as the final one. Highest pitch speed for a game by one pitch. Over under 102.5. It's minus 180 on the over.
This is really a.
Give me the damn over.
Yeah, this is a Durant.
You know how many pitchers you have?
That's one I do like, by the way.
I would slam this one. You're looking at the pitchers that you have options for. I don't think Skubal is going to reach 103, but he can throw fast. Same thing with Hunter Green.
John Duran.
You have
104.
You have Chapman. You have Mason Miller.
Yeah, we should take the over.
You have a bunch of pitchers who can throw 103. You need one pitch. One pitch to go 103. You're throwing in 3 elite flamethrowers. Yeah, I saw it posted a little while ago.
By the way, Trevor, no, I'm not mad that I didn't tell you on the Guardians. I had plenty of wins without the steam chasing that you do.
But the point is, you have 3 elite closers, relievers who throw 103 plus all the time. You need one pitch to go over 102.5. It's minus 180. I get it. I think you kind of have to play this because normally going into postseasons, you'd have one pitcher or like 2 who could maybe reach 103.
Where are you seeing this?
I see it on Caesars. It's in the postseason section. It's all the way at the bottom in postseason.
I don't have it. Oh, World Series. Is it?
It's World Series, AL leader, NL leader, postseason specials, and it's all the way at the bottom.
I guess I'm going to restart it. No, and by the way, the last thing I'll say is I'm dragging Trevor and his shitty bets. I'd Reds 35-1 for the 6th seed, so I'm not worried about your bets.
You had that covered really hard though, because you also had the map.
Yeah,
6-1. Yeah.
I was very, very covered.
Yeah. I forgot you even had the Reds. Like I felt bad the Mets didn't get the 6th seed for you, and then I forgot you had the Reds at 30.
Well, we had them preseason.
No, I know. I forgot about the 6th seed.
I don't see this. No, so this is weird.
I can bet it for you. Well, you had the postseason ERA stuff, and I didn't have that on DraftKings, so I can bet it for us. But 102.5 at minus 180. I guess. Dude, you have to play that.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Cool.
I mean, minimum, you have 3 pitchers who can reach 103 on one given pitch. So good enough for me. That's my favorite out of all of them, and it's minus 180, but I still love it.
By the way, as I've seen everybody talk about like what they're doing for pennant, do not bet pennant now. That is a Bush League move.
No.
Bet exactas. Pick the teams that you want that are in there and pick like box it. Just like horse racing, be like, I think these 4 teams can do it. Cool. Split a unit 8 ways across each one of them. Do not bet somebody to win the pennant now. That is,
or if you want to bet on a pennant, you can wait until they're down in the series and get.
Wait till they're down in the series. Yeah.
I see Jacob mentioning DraftKings. DraftKings had the postseason ERA and the batting average stuff. Caesars has these postseason specials. So the two that we like for this, we bet every year. It's the team to score 7+ runs in an inning, -140 on the S, or the over 6.5. We like that. And I think our favorite is going to be the highest pitch speed, 102.5, -180 on the over. So that's my favorite too. Anyway, time to move on into the best bet segment. Before we get into the best bets, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Arnold Fantasy. You can play Fantasy Pick'em. You want 500 times your entry. Pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available a ton of different sports as well. Use their brand new offer for the customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. We're off to a great start in college football and the NFL. They have a leaderboard with week cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type of any model, and you build, and you can win 1K. Use a promo code also for a discount. Use code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for a quarter off first month. Down the Rhythm app. Once again, promo code SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Podcast. Finished going.
We went an hour on this.
I was going to say,
talking probably.
I was going to wrap it up, trying to get under an hour. But we're back. We just finished going through all the props that we actually like, different markets, etc. Adam, we're not going to do a normal underdog entry because I doubt we're going to have enough resources for that. But for your best bet, what is one prop that you love more than the other ones for the sake of postseason long action?
Johan Duran, saves leader.
And what was the price on that?
$650.
Okay.
He's the dude. He is the dude.
I'm going to lay the juice. Highest pitch speed, over 102.5, -180. I got to take it. I mean, Chapman can get to 104. Miller can get to 104. Durant can get to 104.
That actually works. You could just roll this into that.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, just do that. Yeah.
I might slam the hell out of this number. You have 3 pitchers who can do it. So I got to be tempted. I'll take it. I know it's 180. It's juicy, but I think that might cash in the wild card round. I think that might cash immediately. So I would take that.
Yeah, you actually owe me 186 exactly, so just rolled into this.
You might have to actually consult the StatCast at the time to get the exact decimals for pitcher like velocity. Somebody's throwing 103.
Yeah.
And if it rounds up, you win anyway. So it's fine. So I'll take that as my best bet. Fastest pitch, any point in the postseason, over 102.5 at -180. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up. A reminder, if you want some thoughts on wild card series only action with game ones, coming out later today. So keep that in mind. Either way, Adam, the longest episode we've ever done. How do you feel? You tired?
Yeah, a little bit. But
okay, there you go.
It'll be fine.
But thank you for tuning in. Once again, hopefully you enjoyed the content. Looking forward to the postseason. Until next time, find me on Twitter, Rich Radio. Find him on Twitter at Hey Rosenberg. Until next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets.